StudyIQ IAS, अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल।
हेलो एंड नमस्ते। क्या आपको पता है कि पाकिस्तान जो कश्मीर के महाराजा हरी सिंह द्वारा साइन किया हुआ इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑफ एक्सेशन को नहीं मानता है, वो एक्सपेक्ट करता है कि अफगानिस्तान के साथ ऐसा ही एक बॉर्डर एग्रीमेंट को अफगानिस्तान मान्यता दे दे। दिस इज जस्ट एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ पाकिस्तान's geopolitical hypocrisy. Now, the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan is known as the Durand Line. The line is a part of an agreement that was signed by Mortimer Durand of the British Indian Empire and Amir Abdur Rahman Khan, who was the Emir of Afghanistan. Now, this line, which is basically an artificial line, divides the Pashtun community living in the frontier province. This Pashtun community has been living in that land for centuries, for generations, and they have a very strong cultural bond. They have a strong traditions that date back to centuries, and they do not accept the state-imposed identity. They actually reject the Durand Line. They actually accept their cultural identity, their ethnic identity more than what divides them, that is the line. Now, because of this, Afghanistan and Pakistan have always had a border issue. Now, Afghani governments, even way back in 1940s, whether it was a democratic government, whether it was the old Taliban, whether it is the new Taliban, they have always asked for a revision of this Durand Line, because they believe that this line is a historic mistake. It is illegal. They have invoked Article 51 and 52 of the Vienna Convention, and they have argued that this line is illegal because the agreement was signed under duress. The British Indian Empire basically created pressure on the Emir to sign the agreement. But when Pakistan became independent in 1947, it inherited this line. And stability of this line was very essential for Pakistan. So it applied all kinds of power, including military, including talks, and tried to stabilize this area. Now, interestingly, in 1947, a referendum was held in this province, that is NWFP, Northwestern Frontier Province. And leaders like Frontier Gandhi, that is Abdul Ghaffar Khan, refused to take part in the referendum. The referendum was largely to take the vote of the people to basically understand whether they want to join India or Pakistan. But the leaders said that it does not give the choice of being independent or joining Afghanistan. And that is the reason why they boycotted. Now, some of the people who voted in that referendum, around 90%, 99% actually voted to join Pakistan. And this is the legal claim that Pakistan has in order to say that this area, along with the Durand Line Agreement, belongs to Pakistan. But Afghanistan has said that it is either an independent Pashtunistan or that area has to join Afghanistan because that there is a cultural continuity. In the words of Afghani Prime Minister, the 1940s Afghani Prime Minister, Mohammad Hashim, he said that it is either an independent Pashtunistan or it has to join Afghanistan for the Pashtun reason. So, Afghanistan has always laid claim that the Durand Line is illegal and there has to be an independent Pashtunistan, which of course Pakistan has never accepted. So now let us come to the hypocrisy part. When we talk about Kashmir, Pakistan has never accepted the instrument of accession. It says that it was signed under duress. So it has never accepted it. And even after abrogation of Article 370, it says it is a disputed territory. Pakistan doesn't accept that it is an integral part of India. It keeps saying that Kashmir to abhi bhi disputed hai. Agar Kashmir abhi bhi disputed hai, to Northwestern Frontier Province bhi disputed hai. Using that same logic, right? So even Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, NWFP, the same area is also disputed. So how come the same state uses completely different logic for a similar kind of situation? That is the geopolitical hypocrisy of Pakistan. Now let us come to the fact that what is happening today. Now if you look at it, when the Taliban government came to power in Afghanistan after the withdrawal of US forces in August 2021, the Taliban government was supported by Pakistan, not only by monetary means, but by training their soldiers, by giving all kinds of aid. But Pakistan did not officially recognize Afghanistan. There was US pressure on Pakistan not to recognize, which it hasn't done. But otherwise, they have always supported the Taliban government. The reason was that former Pakistan Prime Minister said that they are a strategic asset of Pakistan. Today, the same asset has become the biggest enemy of Pakistan. Because there is an organization called Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, or the Pakistani Taliban. Now, the Pakistani Taliban's main aim is to destabilize the Pakistani state and the Pakistani government. And to do so, they use terrorism. And today, they are being protected by the Afghani Taliban. Now, what the Pakistani military basically did was they had a brutal crackdown on the TTP or the Pakistani Taliban, and they used ceasefire violations, cross-border firings, even used drones to attack civilians in order to deter further terrorist activities. But what actually happened was the Pashtun people who were living in the NWFP or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa today started turning against the Pakistani state. And today, the same Pashtuns are supporting the TTP. TTP is heavily recruiting from these communities. And this is the community that is going and fighting against the Pakistani state today. So you can just imagine how the tide has turned, how the tables have turned for Pakistan. So just a couple of days back, Pakistan actually said to Afghanistan that stop this terrorism emerging from your soil or Pakistan has to attack. Pakistan is left with no other option. The same words India has been repeating for years now to Pakistan, and Pakistan has been saying that there is no terrorism, that nothing like this is happening. This is internal disturbance of India. Now, can we use the same logic and say that it is the internal disturbance of Pakistan? And Afghanistan, of course, has nothing to do with it. And that is exactly what Afghani Taliban is saying. Afghani Taliban is trying to pressurize the Pakistani government to actually have a peaceful talks with the TTP. They are saying that come on the table and you should all have a proper dialogue and try to resolve your differences rather than fighting. Now, what is in for the Afghani Taliban? The Afghani Taliban is basically at a position right now, geopolitically speaking, that in case there is a conflict or in case there's a dialogue with TTP, there is a chance of revising the Durand Line, something that the Afghani people have been wanting for so long. For TTP, coming on the table and discussing with Pakistan gives them legitimacy. Even a conflict because of that would give them legitimacy. Now, for Pakistan, it's a complete loss-loss situation. There is nothing that it can win out of this situation. Now, interestingly, there was a visit by a senior official diplomat and certain other diplomats of India in the month of June 2022. Now, if you see India's official stand regarding Afghanistan, after the Taliban came to power, India did not recognize the Taliban government. They had no official talks with the government because India has always kept a stand that it does not have any relation or any conversation with a terrorist organization. No negotiation approach. Now, but there is something much more core when it comes to India's Afghanistan policy. That is, India has always followed a people-centric approach when it came to its relations with Afghanistan. What is a people-centric approach? Basically, whatever India has done or invested is largely to benefit the people of Afghanistan. So India has about 3 billion USD invested in Afghanistan on various infrastructure projects, and all of these infrastructure projects was for the benefit of the Afghan people. So not only to protect this investment, but also to humanitarianly help the people of Afghanistan, this visit was seen as a breakthrough. And when the diplomats or the senior officials visited Taliban, the Taliban official actually said that it is a great beginning of India-Afghan relations in the coming years. Now, this visit was seen as a U-turn in the geopolitics of this region. One, for years, Taliban has always refused to talk with India, which was vice versa also, but Taliban was never interested to talk. Why? Because their master, so-called master, that is Pakistan, never allowed relations to actually get established. But today, Taliban is able to use the India card to bargain with Pakistan. Complete U-turn again. Secondly, the visit created insecurity in Pakistan. And this is also the reason why, since the meeting, the rise of crackdowns against the terrorist activities have increased. Also, there have been official statements by Pakistan blaming India for creating the instability, blaming India for supporting the TTP. Batao, ये क्या इंडिया करेगा? Do you think India is going to do this? Or will India do this? I leave it up to you to decide. Write in the comment box, do you think India has a hand in it? And if yes, do you think it's the right way going ahead? But, this is just when we come to geopolitics, there are certain facts and there are certain conspiracies. So let's stick to the facts right now. Now, things are, of course, pretty unstable in the Durand Line. Today, if there are words of war being spoken, both the sides are gearing up for an upcoming conflict, even though Afghani Taliban is talking ki, let's come to the table and have a dialogue and everything. But chances of balkanization, chances of an independent Pashtunistan is not outside the table discussion. So, कह सकते हैं कि जो लोग दूसरों के लिए गड्ढे खोदते हैं ना कभी वो भी उसी गड्ढे में गिरते हैं, और यही हालत है पाकिस्तान का आज के दिन. इंग्लिश में भी एक सेइंग है कि कर्मा इज यूनिवर्स's way of balancing things out, and things are really getting balanced for Pakistan in the geopolitics of this region. With this, we come to an end to today's discussion. Thank you.
StudyIQ IAS. अब तैयारी हुई अफोर्डेबल.